Rise up, live joy your way. From emotional intelligence through cognitive distortions, certified life and wellness coach Kamini Wood is on a mission to help people see the magnificence of their own unique human spirit. Through these small bites of self-visualization and self-confidence, you can have healthy relationships, success in business and career, and live the life you want to live. Rise up, live joy your way.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you for taking some time to hang out here with me. I always love having you join in with me, and today we're talking about something I love to talk about, and I don't think can be talked about enough, which is setting boundaries. But today I want to specifically explore why setting boundaries feels so challenging and really get into the fact that that discomfort does not mean you're doing anything wrong. And I'm bringing this up because this has been a topic I've come across more often with my coaching clients, which is just this acknowledgement that or setting boundaries can feel so icky, for lack of a better word. So if you have struggled with setting boundaries, just first of all, know that you're not alone, because it really can feel incredibly uncomfortable. And I really honor that, because I know that I've had that same feeling, because there are those human fears, the fear of rejection, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of confrontation, the fear of just being mean. Like, you just don't want to be mean to somebody. And what happens is we then internalize that, and we think that we're being selfish or we are being mean. And then when we have that belief about self, that creates its own rabbit hole of negative emotions towards self. So as the person setting the boundary, it's important for me to just say, yes, you may feel some anxiety, you may feel some guilt, you may even feel a little bit of shame. And it may come up in thoughts like, I'm being really mean here, or I'm being really harsh, or even the question of, will they even still like me? And it's just important to acknowledge that these feelings are present, these thoughts are present, without judging them, because these are normal reactions for those of us who have not set boundaries before, because many of us have been conditioned to prioritize somebody else's feelings or thoughts above our own. And just recognizing this is the first step into being able to even start setting boundaries. It's important for us to acknowledge that boundaries can absolutely be uncomfortable, not just for those of us setting them, but also for those receiving them. Because if somebody is used to you always being available or always saying yes, when you go and set that boundary and you suddenly say no, that can feel jarring to them. And it can actually feel somewhat even threatening. You know, suddenly they feel like they're not loved, or whatever their story is. But that discomfort, and it's important to note that discomfort is its own manifestation from their own belief system. It's not a reflection of your boundary being wrong. It's a reflection of how they're feeling and their adjustment to the dynamic. So it's a really important critical mindset shift that we're talking about here. And the mindset shift is, discomfort does not mean that you've made a mistake or what you're putting a boundary around is wrong. Discomfort is actually a natural response to change. And it's natural, especially when we're making those changes in relationships or in personal dynamics. Boundaries actually, though, are clarifying and defining what works for you and what doesn't in a relationship. And it offers the ability to have a more genuine, respectful connection with somebody. And it offers the ability for you guys to actually understand each other on that deeper level. So imagine you set a boundary around your work availability, right? Like your hours that you're available to work. And so initially your colleagues or family might feel surprised or frustrated that's, what do you mean suddenly these are your strict work hours? Especially your colleagues. Like, if you've been answering emails at 10 o'clock at night, now suddenly you're setting these boundaries, they might have a real issue with that. It's like, well, suddenly you're unavailable. But remember that every boundary you set, it is, first of all, it does take an act of courage. It's also an act of self-respect, because when you're setting those boundaries, you're giving yourself a gift, but you're also creating space for somebody else to understand you and then to be able to work with you. And I just want to offer this too. When you're setting these boundaries with somebody and they have that initial response to you, that jarring response, and maybe they respond in a negative way, it's also to allow them to have that response and give them time to adjust. Most people, especially those who really do ultimately respect you and want to be in a relationship with you, they're going to adjust to the new boundary. And there may even be an opportunity to have communication around it. The people who don't adjust and who are willing to let go of the relationship or keep pushing back, those are the people that were really benefiting from your lack of boundaries. And those are the relationships that you can now invite yourself to take a look at it and ask yourself, is that really a relationship that is healthy for me if this person is not willing to potentially adjust and to respect what I'm saying works for me and what doesn't work for me? It's really important. This topic around boundaries is so important because it's the thing that keeps individuals over functioning and over giving. And what ends up happening is resentment builds and it whittles away at connection with people. Or conversely, it creates burnout for people who aren't able to set those boundaries. And I'm not saying this without any regard for the fact that it's difficult. I know that I struggled with it, and I still do at times, struggling with certain boundaries. And it's important, though. I routinely have to go through the process of reminding myself of the reason behind setting the boundaries. If you'd like to speak about how coaching can help you work through either understanding what boundaries you need to set and then how to go about setting them, or anything else, feel free to book a time with me anytime at coachwithkamini.com. And until next time, stay well.
Thank you for listening to Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. For more information, book a chat with Kamini at www.chatwithkamini.com or visit her website at www.kaminiwood.com. You can also find Kamini on Facebook or Instagram. Username It's Authentic Me. Thank you for listening.